Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Massive day in the VALORANT world yesterday. A huge result in the Game Changers side with Shopify Rebellion, their Game Changers roster, winning the World Championship in Game Changers not that long ago with Floor on the team. They made a change and now they've qualified for North American Challengers. A massive result in the history of the VCT yesterday, but also some big scrim bucks going down. Sentinels spotted in a couple of scrims going into important matches in the coming days, but of course 100T versus Gen.G is what everyone's eyes are waiting for. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. We're going to start here. I thought this is funny. I think I've seen something like this before, but yeah, for some reason Zels is appearing as both his own picture and also for John QT. So yeah, here's the Sentinels team that are going to play in a few days time. Loud in the second round of the Americas kickoff. Couple of changes happening to the game as well. So Deadlock will be expected changes for her Graphnet and the Sonic sensor. The Sonic sensors have been a massive talking point with Deadlock really for a very long time because they didn't really do anything, to be honest. Kind of useless. And Riot has said before that they want to give her sensors more value. So they are probably going to buff various elements of Deadlock, which is interesting just because Deadlock has started to see some actual utility in pro play recently. We've seen Deadlock kind of come into the meta a little bit. So if that continues and she gets a bit better, then that might be pretty interesting for what the meta looks like. There was also this spotted as well. It may seem somewhat marginal, and I think potentially it is, but it's worth thinking about. So basically what this guy is saying is that Neon now is different to how she was, as in if you slide and then you jump, you didn't used to lose the momentum. So you guys can see by this example here, like, you know, sliding, jumping, you can get away with it, and you can still kind of do it now. But the point was that you previously, once you slid, you would maintain all of your momentum in the air, but, you know, she does seem a little bit more sluggish now, whereas that wasn't the case previously. So maybe a marginal Neon nerf there that I actually didn't really advertise. Maybe it wasn't even intentional, but it does look slightly different and seemingly feel slightly different as well. Whether it's an intentional change or a bug, I guess that's the question. Let's talk Edward Gaming though, because they survived yesterday, but they only just survived on some level. But still, the world champions, when it really mattered, they did seriously deliver the result. So, look, Edward has qualified for every international event since Champions 2022, and yesterday they were just one map loss away from not qualifying at all. And that's where we find the following. So, Edward Gaming, they 2-1'd XLG. You think, wow, 2-1 competitive series. Well, I mean, it was competitive until it wasn't. So the Lotus was an XLG dub, 14-12 against Edward, and you're thinking, oh my god, I can't believe this. That was their map pick. The binds, though, Edward won it 13-10. Kang had a great map here on the Rays, 29-15. The Teho is seeing a lot of use actually here, which does make a fair bit of sense, I guess. And then we go to a Haven, and you're thinking, wow, XLG, what can they do? The Decider map, well, an absolute masterclass. Nobody was 17-3 and a 13-0 whitewash for Edward Gaming. So kind of incredible to witness this, really, having gone from a team that looked in contention for being chalked entirely, and then we're seeing them, you know, dominate the 13-0. Maybe that's going to give them momentum going forward as well. But that's the way the Chinese kickoff is currently looking. They play Dragon Ranger Gaming in just a few minutes. I mean, as I say, this Chinese kickoff, they're not messing around. And we have other games as well on the top side. So Edward, they took down XLG. DRG, we saw they knocked out FPX. In a few minutes, we're going to see that game. But on the upper side, Billy play Trace Esports. And as it stands, Trace Esports are 7-3 up on the Lotus, looking to lock in their spots for Masters Bangkok. Trace Esports are the favourites to win this series, going in with the way that I beat Edward Gaming, 13-8. They lost, however, the Haven 13-10, but on the Lotus right now, it's looking like Trace might be able to get over the line here. So, look, whoever qualifies, it's going to be a mega result. If Trace qualify, I think that's the result that Edward Gaming will like, because I think Edward will be confident beating DRG, and then, you know, confident beating Billy. Beating Trace Esports after getting 13-4 by them might be a bit of more of a problem as it presently stands. Only 2, of course, go to Bangkok. But we're going to get the conclusion there in just a couple of days, really. And, well, by tomorrow, we'll know if Edward is still in the tournament, because DRG are not to be underestimated. Batanax as well, of course, Apex player. He confirms that he's finally got his visa sorted. So, you know, good result for him. It can go to the Apex team, but of course, it's not like they've been in a great spot lately. We did, however, have a couple of big results in EMEA yesterday, starting with for esports. They 2-0 Team Liquid, pretty emphatically, actually, right? This new Team Liquid team with Kamek and those guys over there, Patty Tech, of course, who was the super sub last year for Heretics on many an occasion, but this was a 13-7, 13-6. Even on Liquid's pick on the Fracture, it was very comfortable in the end for Esports. So very impressive from them. Not a great sign for Liquid early days, but yeah, they'll drop down to the losers bracket, and we'll see what that looks like in a second. Heretics, they were in action as well for the first time. They 2-1 Gentlemates. Fair play to Gentlemates. They're looking like a decent force right now. Certainly map 1. I mean, they won the Abyss 13-4. Very impressive to win this number of defensive rounds on that map right now. Miniboo started out 3-15. Click started out 1.56 rating. How that would change, because the Fracture went 13-3 to Team Heretics. They decided to wake up, and it's kind of incredible, right? Miniboo's rating map 1 was a 0.2, his rating map 2 was a 2.05, Click's rating went from a 1.56 to a 0.08 on the Rays, so not particularly pretty, and then the Pearl was 13-8. So, you know, Gentlemates looked okay, but not good enough in the end, and Heretics do advance in the tournament. As I say, the bracket now looks as follows. So Liquid beat KOI to get to that point. They drop down to losers to play Apex. That's a series they'll be confident to win, but it's Foot Vitality, it's BBL Heretics on the upper side. Not really the selection of names that I might fully have expected. Of course, it's that Fnatic Na'Vi game happening tonight that is really catching my attention. Just quickly to share for you guys what's happening in the Americas, because that gets underway today again as well. There are 2 games tonight. Furia Evil Geniuses is a big one because, of course, Furia, they dropped down after playing Lev. It was that kind of full Challengers North American team, basically. But they've got their Brazilian guys there. They've got the visas sorted just in time. So they're going to play EG. That's Ye's roster. EG, based on the evidence, are probably marginal favourites in this one, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes. And then C9 play MIBR. MIBR should be expected to probably bow out, but it's difficult to say. Interesting to me that the bookies have this so close in the odds because, you know, Cloud9 will be favourites, but probably not massively so. And to be fair, it's Aspas's team, but, you know, who really knows? 100T looked good against MRBR, but of course then they went down to Sentinels, so it's kind of tough to say. And then Cloud9 did get absolutely crushed by G2. So, you know, I guess it is a competitive series. However, in North America, there's also been some other very interesting results, such as this one. We talked about this yesterday, the possibility of this happening, right? The SR Game Changers team, Shopify Rebellion Gold, actually qualifying for challenges. It's been a talking point for the last few years. When will a Game Changers team be good enough to make it into the, you know, the closed circuit for challenges? And the answer is this year. They've tried now for a good few years. They've failed on many an occasion. But this year they got the job done. The amazing thing really is that Floor, their best player, has gone, right, over to Apex. And, you know, leaving the changes they needed to make, Donuts coming into the team instead. And the win they got is honestly incredible because these guys, Funhavers, not a bad team by any means. They actually looked really good in last time out, in like, last stage basically of challenges. But SR come in, they 2-0 them. 13-11 on the Fracture. And then the Pearl was actually very impressive, 13-6 in the end. So, yeah, a great result for SRG. I think a really cool day for Valorant as well. And as Mel says, you know, we did it. First GC team to make challenges. Years of grinding and falling short. We finally did it. Love my team. And, you know, kind of amazing really how Floor was gone. As Floor, that goes on to say, congrats my lovely friends at SR. Definitely deserved how hard working they are. But also a little bittersweet that I wasn't there with them. And I know that Floor, I think, commented on the Reddit to say, I guess I was the problem or something anyway to that effect. So cool moment. As Noya says, not crying you are. So yeah, really cool day, I thought, for Valorant in general, and we see this Game Changers team qualify. How well will they do? I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, they've qualified for the league in the very final qualification spots, basically. Once they get there, it's obviously, you know, an uphill battle, right? But I still thought a cool day. Now, the other thing to think about before we close out the video is the scrim bucks, because there's been quite a lot of these going down over the last few days, and they can inform our feeling to some extent on what we could expect to see at the upcoming weekend of matches. So, well, literally beginning this evening, but certainly for teams like 100T. So they, of course, lost to Sentinels the other day. They will play NRG tomorrow. Very excited for that one. And they've been playing QOR. It was 11-10 during this scrim set. This was also interesting. It wasn't clear who Sentinels were playing against, but they were 8-1 up on somebody. So obviously pretty good result there on paper anyway for Sentinels. Cloud9 then were playing Crew. They were spotted 8-7 down in this one, so competitive series there it seems. Obviously after the G2 result didn't go their way just the other day. Speaking of G2, I don't know who they were playing here. They could have been playing anyone. But we know that right now, G2 are arguably the most, consistent, impressive force in the entire Americas. Like, they look really, really strong. They did okay at last year's World Championship, right? I think they were top 8 in the ends, but they did make it to the playoff bracket, and then they started to fall short. But still, right now, they look like a well-oiled machine. I don't know who they're playing. It could have been, some plumbers. But still, 16-1 against whoever, if you're going to scrim them, presumably means the team you're going to scrim is pretty good. And also, like, G2 are so locked in, because there's some teams that will go up like 10-1 in a scrim, and they'll be like, oh, great, we're fine. But G2, it seems, are committed to winning every single rounds that they can. This was an interesting result as well. So Cloud9, we don't really know how good they are still, in my opinion. They were playing Sentinels, and this was 15-9 in Cloud9's favor. So pretty good result there. As you guys might know, of course, regular matches will end at 13, but when they scrim, they just play all of the 24 rounds to then, basically, because why not, right? It's not about winning it, it's about getting the practice in. And then we got one final one here, so it's not, okay, Sentinels, the one series we saw who they played against Cloud9, sure, 15-9 against them, but they did play some team. They're up 16-5. EG were down 9-12 to somebody, and 2G, NRG played YFP. This is one interesting result. I think it ended kind of unclear exactly how it ended, but it was pretty even anyway between NRG and YFP. So still NRG and Cloud9 and 100 Thieves, all of their results yesterday not especially clear where these teams sit for the coming days. So we're going to find out when they hit the stage yet again. But very much interested to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.